TBC, what's the deal? Now, before I do the post-fight reaction to this fight, let me give a shout out to Mimi Ella, subscriber. Sent me a message today, and I totally forgot to watch this fight, but they reminded me, so I took some time, and I watched the rematch of this fight. So, shouts out to you for reminding me about this fight. The rematch was a totally different fight from the first fight. Let me just start off by saying that Robert Filipovic came into the fight with Konstantin Airich. He was, he weighed in at 231. In their first fight, he was 220 pounds. Like I said in the first fight, I think, fighting a guy like Konstantin Airich in your second and in your third pro fight is asking a lot for a prospect. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm not saying, it can't be done, but even a guy like Tsar Glaskov, he was 12-0 when he fought Airich. Anthony Joshua was 7-0. Tom Schwartz was 12-0. Adrian Granat was 7-0. So for Robert Filipovic to go in there when he's 1-0 with Airich is asking a lot, for my opinion, for your prospect. In between their first fight and the rematch, Konstantin Airich fought Alexander Usanov and he fought Andre Radenko. He lost to both of those guys, got stopped in the fifth round of both those fights. So he's had 2 fights. So he's been busy. And Robert Filipovic, he took no fights. He just came into the fight with no fights in between. But this fight was fought totally different than the first fight. The first fight, Filipovic came out using his stick, using his jab, trying to walk Airich down, be the bigger man, use his jab, right hand. Looked like he was trying to huff and puff and blow the house down, and it didn't work. Airich withstood the storm. And about around round 4 and 5, it looked like Filipovic was just totally spent. He was getting worked to the body, got cut. He fought valiantly, don't get me wrong, and he lost the first fight. This second fight, he came out jabbing, circling. He kept his distance. He tied up when he had to. Airich was trying to work his way in with a jab, and he was plotting around a little bit. First round I gave to Airich, the second, first round I gave to Filipovic, I'm sorry. Then the second round, Airich came out pressing the issue. Filipovic still fighting off his back foot a little bit, but Airich was keeping up the pressure. He landed a big right hand that stunned Filipovic. Could have gave that round to Airich. Rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, pretty much more of the same. Filipovic coming out, pumping his jab, fighting off his back foot. He would outfight Airich on the inside. They were going back and forth. When Airich would let shots go, he would come right back. He did a lot better job than he did in that first fight, because it looked like he just let Airich get his work off and he really wanted the rest on the inside. But Airich kept the pressure on, and Filipovic fought off his back foot, threw some good combinations. Sometimes looked like he smothered his own work. He had some good counter right hands that he got in there. It was really back and forth. A few rounds were kind of debatable, but it was like a replay. It was pretty much a replay. Besides that big right hand that landed, I believe it was the second round from Airich. That was the biggest punch of the fight. I thought it was a pretty even fight. At the end of the, in the 8th round, they're going. I don't think the ref should have took a point for rabbit punching. And Filipovic was doing that in the first fight. After he got cut in that first fight, he started to rabbit punch Airich. And in this fight, the same thing. He didn't, he got a nick or whatever. Then the rabbit punch, I don't think he should have had a point deducted for it. It was the 8th round. He should got a warning or something. But I don't think should have got a point deducted. This fight wasn't televised, so I'm not sure if the ref warned him or not. I really couldn't hear. But I don't think he should have a point deducted. And to me, that made all the difference of this fight. Airich ended up getting the majority decision. With the point deduction, the final scores were 76-76, 76-77, and 75-76. So had Filipovic not had the point deducted, the fight would have been a draw. This fight would have been a draw. So I had the fight 76-76 a draw. I had Filipovic winning the fight 5 rounds to 3, but then with the 10-8 round, because I thought he was losing the 8th round also. So I had it 76-76. So I had it 5 rounds to 3 for Filipovic as far as winning the rounds, but the score I had it 76-76. Very entertaining fight. I don't know where Filipovic goes from here. You know, he's 1-2 now as a pro. You know, I like to still see him around. You know, he's an exciting fighter to watch. You know, he's not a bad fighter, but came in 11 pounds heavier. I kind of question, you know, what made him put on 11 pounds for this fight. The last fight, I thought he got winded because he tried to, you know, go in there and get Airich out of there. Looked like in the first 2 rounds or so, looked like he was pressing for a knockout. This fight, he moved on his feet well, but he looked in. It's funny because his body looked physically better in that first fight, but he fought this fight at a much more measured pace. And, you know, he was using his jab. He was circling. I thought he smothered his work on the inside a little bit. But I thought it was a good fight, man. But I thought he was winning this fight. Only watched it one time. There was a few rounds. There was some of the rounds I gave to Airich. I thought Filipovic could have probably pulled him off, you know. But rounds, I had it 5-3, maybe 6-2 for Filipovic. But the scorecards, you know, if I had it 5-3, you take the point away for the deduction. I thought he was losing that round. 76-76 a draw. But like I said, if you go by the rounds, I had Filipovic winning the fight. 5 rounds to 3, maybe 6-2. But interesting fight, good fight. Konstantin Airich is just a tough journeyman to deal with. He's just very tough, man. So I advise anybody that's going to throw your prospect in there, at least wait till your prospect has, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 fights. I mean, trying to put him in there second fight, third fight, even if he's a super prospect, is still asking a lot in my humble opinion. But just getting this fight out there. This fight happened February 26th, so I'm kind of late getting this post fight out there, but just getting it out there, man. Interesting fight. YTBC. I'm out.